electric car charger has been withdrawn from sale amid fears that it could be used as a weapon by enemy powers to attack the national grid. Joining me right now to discuss this is writer and co-founder of Climate Debate UK, Ben Pyle. Good morning to you, Ben. Great to get you on the show. Always love following your writing on social media, particularly on Twitter, exposing, frankly, an awful lot of the nonsense on net zero. But this story, I mean, this is absolutely fascinating. The idea that there has been a car charger on sale and apparently, you know, sold to tens of thousands of people owning electric cars in this country, which could actually be basically a national security issue. Tell us what it is and tell us why it's a risk.
Well, it's a risk because if you can imagine the energy grid, the electricity grid, being something like a water grid, it's sometimes, if you remember in old, quite rubbish houses, if you turned the water on or off very quickly, or it's particularly off, you would hear a hammer. You'd hear the entire system bang. And that's because of the sudden change in pressure is really quite immense. So the managers of the grid have to make sure that either demand is being met, or alternatively, that if there's excess, there's very rapid changes in the grid, then the generators are able to cope with that. Otherwise, you get this immense pressure throughout the system.
So how do these charges? These are wool boxes. Copper,
That's right.
So copper SB electric car chargers, and the Office for Product Safety and Standards, that's the Consumer Safety Regulator, they had told the company, Wallbox, that their car charger doesn't comply with cybersecurity laws, can't be sold here anymore because it can't be properly secured against hackers. So the concern is that this could basically disrupt our national critical infrastructure.
That's right. It'd be like
well, how can it do that?
So these devices are online, and like many sort of devices that are coming online through the being forced through on the net zero agenda, they can be switched on and off remotely. And of course, if some malign force, either a foreign agency or just hackers trying to make some money or whatever it is that motivates them, if they broke into the system, turned them all on or off at the same time, then this could cause a catastrophic change in a shock to the entire system that would cause.
But hold on a minute.
That's right, and
they'd all have to be plugged in at the same time, though, wouldn't they, for that to do?
Well, they'd all have to turn on at the same time. They might already be plugged in because people will be leaving their cars attached to the charger overnight, or in the garage or in the driveway.
No, we've heard about these threats before. The idea that actually, again, I find it extraordinary. Someone thought it was a good idea. Let's have China be involved in our nuclear power structures and things like that. But having foreign governments and having foreign agents getting involved, we know that's the sort of thing Russia and China, Iran, and other countries try and do. Having any impact on what we can actually do in terms of our national infrastructure. Lots of people talk about, like, this is kind of the future of warfare. Again, we end up then seeing people fighting in the streets in Ukraine. It seems to be going back almost to the trenches of the First World War. But that actually high-tech stuff is kind of the way to do it. We've seen cars more easy to steal now because of the remote locking systems and not actually needing a key and things like that. Is this all down to the same sort of thing, that actually it's all billed as being wonderful and clever, but it's actually so clever and so high-tech that actually it's easy to hack?
Yeah, I think we need to take these threats extremely seriously, whether or not we can identify, who's going to be doing it immediately. The net zero agenda is going to require, for example, smart meters in our home. They're going to be, if not online, they're going to be, attached to the communications network, and that's another way, another possibility, another vulnerability. And of course, this is part of the electrification of everything. So all of our heating is going to be coming through the power grid. All of our transport is coming through the power grid. So and these are all going to be increasingly controlled online. And of course, in order to manage demand, a lot of these devices are going to be remotely turn on and offable, as the advert used to say, because just to manage essentially because the generation fleet, the wind turbines and so on, they're weather dependent, and so increasingly we're going to have to start managing the demand side through these online devices. So
Yeah.
the question, so apart from the fact that there might be these sort of malign agencies seeking to undermine our energy security, we have
Oh,
to ask, well, why have we been making this system so
well,
vulnerable? Why
exactly.
have we
But
been
also,
making?
by the way, it's not even malign foreign governments to say it's actually our own governments, our own energy systems.
That's right.
The reason why they want people to have smart meters is so they can basically stop us using energy as we want to. I won't have one in the house. I think people are crazy to have them. Ben Pyle, time's against us. Thank you so much for joining us. Guffawing faces from Philip Ingram over this. So you don't think this is an issue?
Oh, no, it's a huge issue. But we've got a vulnerable endpoint. Your network is only as secure as the most secure element of it. These endpoints are put in, they plug into it. They're not built with security in mind. They're built with ease of use and value for money that's in there.
Okay.